Everybody, welcome to this new show with that catchy opening theme song. I love it, love it. My name is Bradley Sutton. I'm the director here at Helium 10, and I'm very happy to introduce a new show called The Total Package. And the host of the show is not going to be me. It's going to be my partner in crime here, Leilama Hassan. How's it going, Leilama?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right. So I want to talk about why we're doing this show. We had such a great, feedback on our listing optimization webinar that Leilam and I did. So we're like, wow, there's this hunger, right? But let's first talk about what the show is not going to be about. Can you talk a little bit about that, Leilama?
Yeah, that's actually an excellent place to start. So, this is not going to be a show about us giving you a bunch of strategies. We will really be taking a deep dive into the inner workings of Amazon listings, exploring what it takes to give your listing the feel of a top notch brand, and also recognizing some critical mistakes made by retailers who have failed at this very important task.
Yes, absolutely. And I see a lot of people coming on here. We've got a couple hundred live. Roya, how's it going? Anastasia, Tulsi, everybody now who's watching this in YouTube, let us know in the chat where you guys are calling in from. Love to hear that. Let us know where you're at in your Amazon journey. Are you an existing seller? Have you been selling for a while? Let us know in the chat. We'll call some of you guys out. And I kind of have the same question, for you, Leilama. So, people who may not have seen the webinar that we did together might not know too much about you. So can you talk a little bit about your background and why we should even listen, why we should care about what you think about listing optimization?
Yeah, so here's a quick bit of background on me. With optimized over 300 plus Amazon listings, I have helped brands help brands stand out by creating the best possible online experience. So not only will these strategies help you become more profitable in terms of sales conversions and customer engagement, but will also help you maintain an authentic brand messaging.
Excellent, excellent. Let me just give some shout outs here. We see a fellow Canadian in the house. What's going on? We see Eric just starting out from NorCal. We see Patrick from New Jersey. Welcome. We got Ruse from Miami, Florida. Uh, we have tons and tons. We got Craig from the UK. We got an international audience. I love it. I love it. So now, as you guys can see, or it's my humongous head covering it, we're calling this show the Total Package. So talk about that a little bit. Why did we come up with this name here? What you got muted there, Leilama. Can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
There you go.
sorry. So, yeah, this show will primarily focus on two main subjects, which is listing optimization and your customer's experience. And overall, I want to give you the optimization strategies to help you index and convert, but to also help you have happy customers once they get your product. And that is why we call it the total package. I'll be talking about optimizing all kinds of Amazon listing page content. So that could be your product title, your bullet points, your listing images, A plus content, keyword research. So all those sorts of things. And I'll also be talking about what customers experience when they receive the product and how to make sure that that moment is in fact maximized. So we'll go through multiple products within multiple categories to show you how all of these strategies can be applied across all different product types.
Love it. Love it. We got more shout outs here. We've got Turkey in the house.
Wow.
Let's see. We have somebody who's right down the street. I'm actually in Irvine, California right now. We got somebody here in Tustin. We got Hong Kong. How's it going? Now, we got Pakistan here. I love it. Now, the reason why this is an international show and why there's so many people here is because it doesn't matter where we are in the world. If we are selling on Amazon, this subject that Leilama is talking about here is super important. You have to have an optimized listing. What are some reasons, some benefits, Leilama, of why we need to optimize our listings on Amazon?
Yeah, so selling on Amazon is, it's like a tremendously competitive online marketplace. But with an optimized listing, you can increase one, your search visibility so that your product shows up on pages when people search for items like yours. Two, your click through rate so that people choose your listings over your competitors. And three, your chances of converting people so that you can, in fact, make those sales, right? And as important as it is to optimize your listings, I think it is equally important to give your customers a pleasant experience so that you can avoid the risk of negative reviews, a return, or most importantly, losing a potential return customer.
Yep.
And that's why we'll be ordering and unboxing each product featured on this show, so we can get a better understanding of what our customer experience looks like when they open our packages.
Cool.
So
Cool.
that's going to be interesting. I think I'm really looking forward to like unboxing it with you guys, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we haven't really done that on a show before.
Yeah.
Now, quick trivia, and if anybody gets this right, I'm going to try and see if I can send you a Helium 10 microphone or something. But I'm debuting my new jersey today. So we see here Helium and then 10. Look at that. Now, the styling and the color here. All right. Does anybody know what team and what sport I took this from? And if you get it right, I'm going to send you guys a Helium 10 microphone. So let us know in the chat. A hint is about the sport, at least. I see we have some people from Canada here. We got Claudia from Calgary here, so she
My
might have a
neighbor,
little bit
love
of
it.
an advantage. Anyways, back to what Leilama was talking about. So I know you guys out there are like, well, this sounds like pretty interesting, especially, hey, let's do a deep dive into a product. Let's optimize this listing. But it's like, this is going to be an ongoing series. So maybe some of you are wondering, well, wait a minute. Like once we like, do a unboxing once and we optimize the listing and things like that. Okay, that's going to be great. But like, isn't that going to get kind of boring pretty fast? Like if it's the same thing episode after episode?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I completely understand, which is why no two episodes will be the same. Each episode will focus on different aspects of optimizing your listing and the customer experience, because as we all know, there's just so many elements within a product listing alone, right? And we will actually have some episodes where we will have access to the account so you can watch over the shoulder as we optimize these listings and see the before and after results. And every now and then we will also have a live AMA, so you can ask me anything about listing optimization or photography and much more.
Okay, excellent. I love it. So this first episode, guys, is going to be kind of an ask me anything. So we're just going to open it up at the end of this for about 10 minutes, and you guys ask Leilama or myself. She knows a little bit more about me, especially about photography. So you guys are going to be able to ask anything you want about listing optimization photography today. But then every few months we'll have another session kind of like this one, but the other episodes are going to be pre-recorded and it'll be about a certain aspect of listing optimization. I want to call out a winner. We have a winner. Mike D, LA Kings hockey. You are right. So this is a hockey jersey and it's done in the old LA Kings style. So my assistant Mel, please reach out to Mike D here, or Mike D, reach out to me on Instagram. You can follow me, guys, at H10 Bradley. So let me know your address and we'll get you a Helium 10 microphone right away. So good job, Mike.
Congratulations, Mike.
I was like, I don't know if somebody can is going to get this, but let's just talk a little bit about that Ask Me Anything. So I just said it's only going to be once every few months, depending on how many episodes we do. But we have something else. I'll talk about how you guys can get a special discount for it, where every month Leilama goes on and does an Ask Me Anything on listing optimization and product photography, and that's through Freedom Ticket Extra. It's our coaching program that we have here, and there's a rotation of myself and Kevin King is on there once a week, and Shivali and Lem and the other brand evangelists here, and Leilama's there about once every 6 weeks to answer any questions you have about listing optimization. I'll tell you guys in a little bit how you can sign up at a discount for that. Now, where is this show, Leilama, going to be primarily? How can people see it on the interwebs out there?
Yeah, so each episode we'll be sharing it on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to that channel and hit the bell below so that you can get notified every time we bring on a new episode. And mainly, it's going to be running on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, what I want everybody to start doing is putting the questions that you have for Leilama or myself about listing optimization. Don't ask us about keywords. Yes, we can answer questions about keywords, but today is specifically about how you set up your listing, your photography, your images, A+ content. Start putting your questions into the chat, and we'll get to those in a little bit. We had so many questions that didn't get answered because there was literally 1,500 people on our last live webinar. So what we did is we took some of those, the most common questions, and we'll go ahead and start off with those while we wait for you guys to put in your questions. So Gio, if you'd be so kind, let's throw up these questions. All right, so the first one, how many lifestyle images do you recommend putting in a listing? Leila.
Okay, so that's a great question. And, it really is product specific. But to answer that question, basically what you want to do is really understand your product, right? Now, let's say your product requires a lot of information or has a lot of features that you can talk about. So a lot of the electronics product categories, within those, I think having more infographics would really benefit your listing as opposed to lifestyle images, because there's so much information to give out to the customers. So really talking about the breakdown of infographic and lifestyle images, you want to first understand, like, are there many features or questions that need to be answered? If yes, then you want to put in more infographics and maybe put in 1 or 2 lifestyle images at most. But if it's something like, for instance, a home decor item, and I mean, for those things, it's basically for aesthetic purposes, doesn't really have many features, then maybe you could go with a higher ratio of lifestyle images as opposed to infographic images. So number one, like, how many features or benefits does it have? What kind of information needs to be portrayed would be one. You want to put that into infographics. And two, just understanding, like, is it just for aesthetic purposes? Is there any information? So then you go with more in lifestyle images as opposed to infographic images.
All right, I see another question I'm going to throw up here from. Hold on, Gio. Let me take that one off. I want to do some of these live ones first here. This is from Argeus. How often should we change the title in the short term? So I talked about in one of the recent webinars about how important your title optimization is, and especially in relation to the canonical URL, but then also especially when you're launching. So usually you want to make sure that your title from day one is the most optimized as it can be, with that the most important 2 keywords at least that are in there in the title. Now, sometimes what happens is maybe like your 3rd or 4th important keyword you're trying to rank for in your PPC launch, and you're just seeing that you're not getting traction. So in that case, if you're still kind of in the beginning, I might, and I have, maybe take out one of the other keywords and throw that in there just to see if I can get some traction. Now, where you have to be careful is sometimes people, they're like, hey, I'm already on the top of page 1 on this keyword. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of my title and put another one in and try and rank for there. Just be careful. Yes, some people do that, but what sometimes happens is that you might lose your ranking on that the other important keyword, and you don't want to do that. So if you ever do feel that you have to do that, I would add the original keyword that you were taking out into Keyword Tracker from Helium 10, put on boost so that we're checking 24 times a day in different browsing scenarios, and then make sure that you're not losing your rank by taking it out. But usually I would say try and keep your title fairly consistent. I would not update it too much unless you have to. Let's see. I see some other questions here in the chat. Let's go to Paulo here. Should we write the copy for the description as a story, like starting off with a question and ending with a call to action? I haven't done that myself, but Leilani, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is one of the ways for your description to sound catchy. So it is definitely one of the strategies that people do use in their copywriting, and you don't have to, but it is one of the strategies which is recommended. Like, the more interesting it is to read and the more information it is giving out, you also don't want to focus too much on making it interesting that it loses its use of keywords that are important to your listing. And also, you don't want to focus on it too much that it's not ultimately giving any value or information out to the customer. So be mindful of that. As long as you're doing those two things, targeting the right keywords and giving information about your product, I think it's a good way to catch your customer's eye and make it sound more interesting and stand out.
Excellent, excellent. Here's one from Dan. The main image varies greatly from listing to listing. All white, not all white product in use. So first of all, Dan, keep in mind that regardless of what you see other people doing, the Amazon rule is that you do have to have the white background. All right. Yes, in some categories you might see more listings than not, or than others that don't have it, but that doesn't mean that that should give you a free license to do that, because Amazon could pretty much suppress those listings anytime they want it. To, based on their algorithm or whatever bot that they're using to detect that. So just my personal advice is always make sure to have the white background, because that's what Amazon wants. And now product in use, be careful, like some accessories, like you're not supposed to put like models and things like that. Like you can't really have lifestyle images, with models and action shots and things like that. That's not what the main image is supposed to be. So just be careful of that too. Sometimes you can have like some props, like for example, if I'm selling, I see a straw here on my desk, but if I'm selling a straw, I've got here, what do you call these jars? Mason? Yeah,
Mason jars.
mason jars, right? So I'm not selling the mason jar, but maybe just for the picture, I'm putting all the straws in here, right? Like maybe that's okay, because that's an accessory that makes sense. But don't go and put the straws like on top of a lemonade stand and like 75 different things that's happening in that main image. Amazon might not like that as well. Anne says, what's a good company for A+ content? So what do we have that where people can go search for different companies that people use at Helium 10?
Yeah, it's our TPD, our Trusted Partners Directory, where we have a bunch of companies offering different services relevant to the Amazon industry. So you can check out our TPD and choose a company that offers A+ content services.
Yep, we have a variety of them on there. Marketing by Emma. We just did some recent actual case studies with AMZ One Step. And so there's a lot of different companies that you might see there. So directory.helium10.com, guys, and you'll be able to find some companies that can help with that. But let me just say this, Anne. Our goal here at Helium 10 with our Freedom Ticket training and with this show that Leilama is going to be doing, the total package, is we want to kind of empower you and give you the knowledge that you can do it on your own. But, like some people just don't have the time or whatever. And okay, in that case, go ahead and use one of these companies. They're great. We use them ourselves here because we don't have time to do all this, work ourselves. But our number one goal is to try and empower you so that if you have the time, you'd be able to do it without having to hire somebody out there. Let's see.
Bradley, I would just like to add that even if you are outsourcing services, it's always good as a seller to have that knowledge, because you know your brand best, and you know your product best. So it's just really important to, even when you're going to outsourcing these services, to tell them, when you have that knowledge, you're able to pass that knowledge on to them more. So that's just something I wanted to mention. It's always good to know more about all of these different aspects of your Amazon selling journey, right?
We have fans of you out there already, Leilama. So we got Chris here. Leilama, you're the best thing to happen to Helium. Are we sure that that's a compliment? I'm gonna be prideful and assume.
No offense, Bradley.
Okay, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Do you have recommended limit? This is from Ian. Do you have recommended limits for number of words in KSF and the product description? All right, my brain is dead. What is KSF?
I'm actually
Do you
not
know
sure.
what he was talking about? Ian, let us know what is KSF, but just about the in general, you want to stick with what is the kind of like limits for your listing, for your category, or for what Amazon says. And for the description, it's usually standard. It's like 2,000 is like the max. Now where it differs sometimes is like in the bullet points and title. One product might have this limit, another product might have this limit, but always stick whatever the limit that Amazon says. You usually want to stick to that, or else sometimes your listing might not get published. But let us know what KSF stands for.
Key selling features. Okay, he says it's key.
Oh, I think he's talking about that's the bullet points. Yeah, so that's actually what Amazon calls the bullet points. I just never call it that. That's why I didn't understand that. Okay, so what about you? So for bullet points, let's just say, Leilama, that there's no like hard limit. Like some of them say up to 500 per line. Now I would never put 500 characters in a line, right? Even though Amazon would let me. So in that case, what if you didn't have a limit, Leilama? What's your ideal sweet spot for bullet points?
Bullet points. Well, first of all, as a buyer, I would, it's really important to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. I think that you should, in the first couple of words, as a buyer, I want to understand what that bullet point is trying to say, like what the feature is from reading maybe the first 5 words. So I like to keep it like short and sweet, descriptive, giving all the information. But Bradley, if I'm not wrong, we did test out the bullet points, right? Where we saw that after 1,000 characters, it wasn't being indexed. So, for me, that is the max. I would not put in any efforts if those aren't being indexed on Amazon. Those keywords aren't being indexed on Amazon, to be clear. So, that would be the max. And again, keeping it to the point, short, catchy, also including in all those keywords. But also, you don't want to keyword stuff and write so much information that your buyer just gets overwhelmed and ends up not reading them.
Exactly. Adam says, wait, not Adam. Where's the other one I wanted to bring up? Disha Tech. Here we go. Do we need to repeat the main keywords and title, bullet points, and backend search field? So what I do as a rule of thumb is my top 4 or 5 keywords I will put, if let's say it's in my title, one's in my bullet point, I will duplicate that in either the subject matter or search terms, even though Amazon says, oh no, don't do that. On the back end, Amazon employees say, no, you should do that. And I've done tests where just by adding something to the back end, even if it's already in the front, it does have a bump on your organic ranking sometimes. So like only 4 or 5, but I never duplicate within the same field. In other words, in my title, it's not going to be, Manny's Mysterious Oddities Coffin Shelf. And then, great table decor. This coffin shelf can be used. Like, I'm not going to put coffin shelf twice in the title or twice in one bullet point or twice. I can't even speak. I sound like the Wascally Wabbit, like Looney Tunes here. Twice in your back end search terms. I won't do that either. All right, let's see. Karen says, how many episodes are there? Will it be here every Thursday at the same time? So it's going to be like, I believe once, the next one's going to be in a couple weeks, but then it's going to kind of like be once a month to start, depending on how the reaction is, right, Leilama?
That's correct. And it's going to be every Thursday at the same time. So
okay,
Karen, you're right about it being
not every Thursday and every Thursday of the month, but it's always going to be released on Thursdays. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I phrased it incorrectly. Yeah,
no worries. At least you can actually enunciate your W's and R's, unlike me right now, for some reason. All right, let's see. Gio, why don't you? Whoops, how do I get rid of this? Gio, why don't you throw up one of the other questions from the workshop that we have? All right, Leilama, if you have a listing with 4 variations, is it better to have one title for all variations or 4 unique titles for each child ASIN?
That's actually a very interesting question. People who are selling products with variations. A lot of the times from what I've, kind of seen, I think your variation will have the same features. It's either a different color variation or a different size variation. So in terms of features and relevance of keywords, it's going to be the same. So to answer your question, you want to keep the title the same unless your variation is something unique and warrants a different keyword. And maybe there's another extra keyword that's relevant to this other variation than the main product variation or the parent ASIN, then you might want to include like a different keyword in the title. But for the most part, I think that having the title the same throughout all variations is what works best.
Yep. All right, here's one from Rachel, if I have the A plus content enabled, should I still have the regular description filled out? Does it help with the rank? So I say yes. It doesn't show, for those of you who don't know what Rachel's talking about is you have your regular description, and then when you put your A plus content, your regular description is hidden, but still keep that filled with keywords because they are indexed. All right, so it just gives you a little bit more real estate, and especially it's important to know that your A plus content, a lot of it, if not all, is not normally indexed by Amazon if it wasn't indexed already. Just by adding it to the description in your A plus content is not going to get you indexed. So if you were to delete your description, theoretically speaking, a lot of those keywords you might actually lose your indexing on there. Let's see. I saw a
And as
couple of
a general
inventory
rule of
questions.
thumb,
Go ahead.
anyway, like Rachel, what I would like to say is if there is a field, just fill it out. There's no harm in it, you know. If anything, you might even benefit from it.
Claudia says, I've heard that you should write your bullets and description at a 6th grade level. Do you agree? And if so, why? I've never thought, I don't really have that in mind. I just kind of like, I am not going to go into some deep scientific terminology, I've made fun of that before on collagen peptides where they're like, this is enzymatically processed for grade A hydrolyzed. I'm like for the average person, what does that nonsense even mean? But do you have something in mind, like a certain level, Ilama, when you're writing listings?
Okay, first of all, I think there's like so much information and so many strategies out there that people are just, I feel like, making up almost. So there is no like certain like fixed formula. Like I think it can really depend from one place to one product to the other. So like grade 6, I don't think there's like a particular grade that you should like void like phrase it as. But that being said, you again want to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer and understand. Like I remember seeing something like 303 steel or something like that. Like don't talk in manufacturing language, you know. Talk to the buyer as if they don't know anything about manufacturing lingo. So, just keep it simple. Talk to them about the features of your product that will make sense to them as a buyer because they haven't researched your product like you have as a seller. So that's just like the
Okay.
general rule of thumb I like to.
We'll be able to give you a couple more here. We're going to end in a couple minutes here. John says, how long does it take for new keywords you add to a listing to start indexing? So sometimes it depends on which field it is. But if it's in your title or if it's in your search terms and subject matter, it can be as fast as like 15 minutes. And when you say indexing, I'm taking you at face value. That's not ranking. Indexing and ranking are two different things. So if your question really is indexing is it searchable at all by Amazon? Yes, it's like 5 to 15 minutes. Sometimes if it's just a description or bullet points, it might take up to 24 hours. Now, if you're talking about can it get ranking like in the first 7 pages, which is what is visible, that can be anything. Like if it's in your title and it's a low title density score, that means not many people have that phrase in keyword form. You technically could get on page, the top 3 or 4 pages in like one day just by adding it to your title. Now, other things, where if it's something like collagen peptides or a word that thousands and thousands of listings have, you are not going to get in those top 7 pages and rank for it anytime soon. It's going to take some, marketing. Let's see, maybe one last question here. Okay, this is a good one because I saw 3 people ask this. So Tech Lover says, what is A plus content? We've been talking about that for a little bit, but we didn't explain that. So Leilama, can you explain that please for them?
Yeah, so if you are a brand registered seller, you're going to have access to A plus content, which basically shows up in the product description part of your Amazon listing. So now you get access to high quality images. You also can include text within your picture. You can include text separately. And they've actually gone ahead, Amazon's given you like a bunch of different modules that, preset modules, which you can make use of to, really kind of go away from that basic product description of text only to like something that will make your product or like your product appear more as a proper brand. So you've got access to so many different things within A plus content, and if you're brand registered, you should definitely be making use of that section.
Okay. I'm just going to make fun of My friend here, Bluebird Gin. My Asian lost its sales rank. Now, are you talking about me since I'm Asian? Like, did I lose my sales rank? I think he means ASIN, which is the standard number. But if you're talking about your ASIN, hey, it could be listing optimization. This is why listing optimization is so important. If you start losing your keyword rank, it could be because your listing is not optimized for that keyword, and then Amazon does not really deem it relevant. So even if you get a little bit of activity, it's not going to have as much of an effect on your listing as opposed to if your listing was optimized. All right, guys, let me know in the comments right now. Like, did you find this beneficial? Like, did you learn something today? I mean, those of you who didn't know what A+ content is, I knew you just learned something today. Let me know if this was beneficial for you. You're going to be getting great information from Leilama. I'm not going to be here in the future ones, but Leilama is going to be giving you guys great information going forward, and you're going to be learning a lot. If you don't want to wait until the next episode and you want direct access to ask questions like you guys were just doing to, again, either Kevin King, myself, Carrie, Lem, Shivali, or Leilama, don't forget to sign up for our coach. I'm not sure if we have like a little link that we can throw up, but if not, you guys can write this down. helium10.com/FTX. All right. Helium10.com forward. Look at this. My goodness. I don't know if Gio just like literally made this out of thin air right now, but helium10.com/FTX, and then use this code total package. All right, total package, because Leilama is the total package when it comes to knowledge about listing optimization. So total package, guys, that's the code. And what are they going to get if they use that code?
You basically get 50% off your first month of Freedom Ticket Extra.
Okay, so if you're watching this, guys, in like October, November, because this is going to be on YouTube, that code probably is not going to work. So this code is limited time. So if you're watching this right now, go to helium10.com/FTX. Try it out for a month, guys. Try it out for a month. If you don't think you're getting enough value out of the coaching, you can just go ahead and ask for your money back. But it's 50% off, and so it comes out to like $38.50 or something like that. So make sure to sign up, and then when I come on there, or when Leilama comes on there, make sure to let us know that you found out about this from the total package show. Last but not least here, the proper pronunciation of your name. So go ahead and say it just to make sure.
It's Leilama.
There we go. Leilama, all right, guys. And then it's not, I always used to say Hassan, but it's Hassan, right?
Oh wow, okay, that's very impressive, Bradley.
There we go. I'm trying. And then I think how to say how cool is that I'm not sure if this is Urdu or not. It's like kitna cool hai cafe cool mere kashi, something like that. So Leilama teaches me some Urdu sometimes. I teach her some Spanish and Japanese, but she speaks the language of listing optimization and photography. So Leilama, how excited are you about this show?
Very excited, and I'm excited to be seeing all of you watching that show and commenting on it. We'll be sharing a lot of information, so take a load off as we break down all of these important points for you. And again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell below so that you get notified every time we bring on a new episode. I will see you again on the next episode. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Don't forget to give us thumbs up on the YouTube right now. See you guys later.